Hello, welcome to the flight today. This is Aloft Virtual Alliance. We are on the ground in St. John's. We are going to be flying to Halifax, which is a hub for Canadian Airways. Jump out and take a look at the plane and this dude. We're getting bags loaded. Passengers are already on. Flying the CRJ1000 today. As you can see there, here we are. So, we need to request clearance and finish programming. We're not. What happened? We lose our... Oh, because I left the cockpit, we lost our ground power? Okay, that's weird. Hopefully that gets fixed on an update. Okay. Well, we're going to be starting over here, so let's do... position. Okay, we're at CYYT. CYYT. YH. Can click spots. Alright, so our first waypoint is text. Then we're going to Silro. And then Kaylee. Alright, so we're going to execute that. Get our clearance, and we're going to go ahead and start the APU. St. John's ground, Canadian Air 404 requesting clearance to Halifax is filed. Okay, let's get you on, let's get you started. Get you opened up.
Canadian Air 404 cleared to Halifax, expect runway 28, advise ready for push and start or taxi.
Roger, clear to Halifax, expect runway 28, advise ready for push and start. Okay, so we're going to go departure, runway 28, execute. We're going to go back here, arrival, saying 23, so the ILS 23, and Cabot 5, Kaylee transition. Let's look at this. Lee Road, where we're gonna probably get off at. So that's the transition we want. Is that an option? I think it's just vectors. Because deter, yeah, so we'll just leave this alone. Execute, legs. Be able to do that. Execute. Okay. So then we're going to go flight plan, performance. Performance. That. We're going to set our V speeds. Cruise altitude. We need to look that that up real quick. We're not going up to 38,000 feet. We're going to do 340. Execute. VNAV set up. Execute legs. Okay, we're good there. Get our heading bug. 280. Okay, that looks good there. We're gonna unhook that. Everything else looks good. We need the IRS to finish aligning. Which it probably would have been done right now if we hadn't I'm gonna redo our clearance. There's something up with that. Because it was saying we were VFR and we're not. St. John's Ground, Canadian Air 404 requesting clearance to Halifax. Because it didn't even give us a squawk code.
Canadian Air 404, Canadian Air 404, clearance to Halifax is not available on ground. Advise ready for push and start or taxi.
Roger. Okay, then we'll just advise on that. Go from there. Clearance delivery, is there? No? Alright. Okay, so we're just waiting on the IRS to align. Get that closed, 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 disconnect, remove those. Have a countdown? No, it doesn't. Go ahead and dial that in. Trying to see if there's anywhere to change the speed of the alignment, but I'm not seeing. Oh. Save. Okay. I don't know if it's going to help us this time, but It'll at least help us next time. Get our weather. Nine or 901. Okay, good to go there. It really does take this long in real life. That's a long time. Just saying. At least in my opinion. Guess I should have checked that before we... basically fly straight out to the waypoint. That's pretty cool. So really we'll just hit nav and that'll work. Alright, we are aligned, so let's get ready for push and start. St. John's ground, Canadian Air 404 is ready for push and start.
Canadian Air 404, push and start approved, face east.
Roger, push and start, approved, face east. Okay. CYHZ. Alright, looks like we're okay with this. Oh. Okay, let's get our beacon on. Like so.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Oh.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear.
Okay, we want to fade. Oh yeah, want to go left.
Parking brakes.
Okay. Brakes
Commencing
released.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, let's get our engine going. Don't forget, sometimes you have to hold those to get them to go. I often forget that if I don't fly this thing regularly. Engine 1 spooling up. We'll open our taxi charts. So more than likely we're gonna go India to Mike. Alright, so engine 1 is going. Let's get engine 2 started. Okay.
Set parking brakes.
Okay, engine 2 is on, so we're good to go there. We're going to kick off the APU. So let's turn it off, close U. Turn on.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, that's on. We're good to go there. This on. No. There we go.
Tow truck disconnected.
That on.
Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Everything up there is good to go. Alright, then we need to come down here. Click that. Click this and this. Okay, everything should be on. Ground spoilers. Oh. Need to get a hydraulic pump on. There we go. Okay, that's fixed. Alright, so now we're gonna hit our taxi light on St. John's ground. Canadian Air 404 is ready for taxi.
Canadian Air 404, runway 10, taxi via Delta. Mike, hold short of runway 34, then Mike, hold short of runway 28.
Roger, we're gonna taxi via Delta. Mike, hold short of 34, hold short of 28. Alright, kind of what I was thinking, so we're good to go there. Kick off the parking brake. And let's put some throttle. Get our flaps to 8. Just like so. Turn this way.
Canadian Air 404, cross runway 34, then continue taxi via Mike, hold short of runway 28.
Cross runway 34, continue via Mike, hold short of 28. Alright, so is Mike here,
Approaching runway 34.
which we're good to cross. And then we're going to hold short of 28. Seems really dark in here. That helped a little. Pull back on our throttles. We're getting close to where we need to. That's me moving my feet up the pedals to touch the brakes, so just so you know. Alright, here's our hold short line right here. We need to get to where he'll kick us over to tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, Canadian Air 404, cross runway 28.
And I don't really know how we cross 28. We're taking off 28. Roger. Guess we'll just get lined up. Lights are on.
Approaching runway 28.
Flaps are armed.
Approaching runway 28. On runway 28.
Alright, he's gonna switch us over to tower.
Feet.
I don't even see the tower. So we must do CTAF, I guess? Alright, go. Positive rate, gears coming up. Speed, nav, autopilot. Center Canadian Air 404 with you passing 3,000.
Canadian Air 404, St. John's Radio, say altitude, heading and destination.
Passing 3,000, heading 285 IFR to Halifax.
Canadian Air 404, climb 285, Halifax altimeter 299.1.
Roger, climb flight level 285.
Climb 285, Halifax altimeter 299.1, Canadian Air 404.
He's got that. Alright. So got our auto throttle set to climb, so we're good to go there. Flaps are up. Like we've got some ice. Let's get anti-ice on. St. John's Radar, Canadian Air 404 requesting cruise of flight level 340.
Canadian Air 404, climb flight level 340.
Okay, so we're good to go there.
Climbing flight level 340, Canadian Air 404.
Alright, so we're about to hit 10,000. Kick off our lights. Cockpit brightened up a little bit once we got out of the clouds, so that helped. Alright, 10,000 lights are going to come off. The wing and logo. All of those. Okay. Alright, so we're about to hit 15,000, so we're going to speed the video up from here for the rest of climb and then cruise. And then at top of descent, we'll slow things back down and we will approach into Halifax. So we will see you on the other side of cruise. We are getting ready to start our descent to 3,000. And we're going to go speed. Start out at about 1,000 feet per minute and see how we do from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your flight attendant, Tyrone speaking. We have now left cruising altitude and have started our approach to Halifax. Please return to your seats, store your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. The usage of loudspeakers is no longer allowed. Thank you for your cooperation, and we hope you enjoy the flight with us today.
Alright, so we need to pull back on our throttle some and drop our nose a little bit more.
Canadian Air 404, contact Moncton Center on 135.1.
Moncton Center on 135.1, Canadian Air 404. Moncton Center, Canadian Air 404. Good afternoon, descending flight level 270 for 3,000. Canadian Air 404, Moncton Center, identified. Good afternoon.
Trying to get our airspeed under control a little bit better.
Canadian Air 404. Contact Halifax approach on 118.7. Contacting Halifax approach on 118.7, Canadian Air 404. Halifax approach, Canadian Air 404. Good afternoon, descending flight level 190 for 3000.
Canadian Air 404, Halifax approach identified. Good afternoon, Halifax altimeter 3006. Expect the ILS runway 23 approach into Halifax.
Altimeter 3006, expecting the ILS runway 23 approach. Canadian Air 404.
Pulling up our weather. We're 3002. Saying 3006. And Evergraph saying 3002. I don't know where paying attention, sorry for the pause, but I don't know where it pulls its weather from. I don't know if it pulls it directly in from the sim, or what it does. Wait a little bit. I don't know why that snapped so bad. Okay, 10,000 marks. Kick our lights all on. Good there.
Copy, Captain. Crew will ensure everyone is seated and seatbelts are fastened.
Oh,
Canadian Air 404, proceed direct LEH Rose, cleared for the ILS runway 23 approach, speed below 200 knots until established.
Our sign gate is terminal 18. Thank you.
Proceeding direct LEH Rose, cleared for the ILS runway 23 approach, speed below 200 knots until established. Canadian Air 404.
Start speed down. Charts ready. Do appointment. V reference 137 plus 5 is 142. Got that set.
Sierra Bravo November contact Moncton Center on 135.65.
Sierra Bravo November. Good day.
Wake up. We check the weather. Still showing 3002. Approach. Okay, put all back in.
Canadian Air 404, contact Halifax Tower on 118.4.
Go ahead and put some flaps.
Switching to Halifax Tower on 118.4. Canadian Air 404. Halifax Tower, Canadian Air 404. Good afternoon, established on the ILS runway 23 approach.
Canadian Air 404, Halifax Tower, roger, continue approach.
Okay. To throttle.
Canadian Air 404, winds 210 at 10, gusting 18, runway 23, cleared to land.
Runway 23 cleared to land. Canadian Air 404.
Okay, we got the glide slope. Maybe. Look like we're descending. Yeah, for some reason it didn't capture glide slopes, so. Alright. Go gear down, flap. Good thing it's a nice day and we can do a visual approach. Flaps full. was a weird approach. It was fighting me really, really bad.
Canadian Air 404, contact ground on 121.9er.
Stop here for a minute.
Switching to ground on 121.9er. Canadian Air 404.
Okay.
Halifax ground, Canadian Air 404. Good afternoon, cleared of runway, ready to taxi to the gate.
Canadian Air 404, Halifax ground, taxi to terminal gate 18 via Charlie Alpha. Good day.
Alright, so we're going to gate 1.
Terminal gate 18 via Charlie Alpha, Canadian Air 404.
Did you know that Halifax is home to the largest natural harbor in the world? Thank you for flying with Canadian Air today. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with Canadian
Porter
Air.
470 ready to taxi.
The time here is 12:19.
Porter 470, runway 23 taxi via Golf, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 14, then Lima.
30 to Toronto. Departing
Runway 23 taxi via Golf, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 14, then Lima Porter 470.
gate 12.
Yeah, that landing was not... It was just weird. Or for the course, I guess. Alright, so that's Delta there. Like that cab in the center of the terminal. That's right there.
November Romeo Yankee, ready to taxi.
November Romeo Yankee, runway 32 taxi via Alpha Delta, hold short of runway 23, then Kilo. Runway 32 taxi via Alpha Delta, hold short of runway 23, then Kilo November Romeo Yankee. Porter 470, contact tower on 118.4. Over to tower, Porter 470.
I'm gonna stop right here. I think we want to go too much further, where the jetway's it all screwed up. Alright, aircraft, let's add our chocks, get our ground power connected. Alright, yeah, we need to get ready for boarding. Open this, drop that. Go here. Request board.
Welcome aboard.
Gotcha. It looks like pretty far down
Passengers deboarding starting.
there. Alright. Jump out.
Hello there. Left side, just a bit further down. On the right. That'll be fine.
Like a beautiful day here in Halifax, so that's good. Alright, so that was a decent flight. Approach, the fact that we couldn't get on the ILS, I don't know what happened there, and then towards the I lost the glide slope, so that didn't help, but towards the end, trying to keep lined up on it, it was just fighting me. I did let loose on the throttles too early because I started pulling them back at 50, so that's probably why we landed the way we did, but that's okay. Live and learn. So we're going to watch some bags get unloaded, and then we'll wrap this one up. Our next flight is to Edmonton from here, and we're going to switch and do some Airbus, probably the A321, and then from there we're going to Yellowknife, so we'll probably switch to the A319 or the A320, one of the two. I think we've done the 19, so maybe we'll do the 20 and show it off. So that's the plan right now. Let's see, what else? Video description is our links for Discord and the Alliance website if you'd like to come join it and fly with us. Also, it's in our profile description if you don't see it under the video. We'd love for you to come join us and fly around using these schemes and all the different places. We'll see you on the next one, and then once we're done unloading bags, we'll call it a wrap.
Two more rows. Hello there, welcome. Welcome. Just ahead. Hi, welcome. One more row. You're welcome. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. There should be space up front. Yes, right side. You're welcome. That can go under the seat. You're all set. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. Yes, that's the one. Hello there. Two more rows. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, please. On your left. aboard, enjoy.
November Romeo Yankee contact tower on 118.4.
Tower, November Romeo Yankee.
That row is a bit further. You're good to go. Hi. Yes, straight ahead. Welcome. Hello, right this way. On your right. That's right, straight ahead. 2 more rows. This way, please. Hi. There should be space up front. One more row, straight on ahead.
3280 ready to push.
Welcome aboard, please. Hello there.
Dashport 3280 cleared for push and start.
Pushback and start approved. Dashport 3280.
That's the last row. CYYT. CB, happy to help. Welcome. Yes, keep going. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. There may be room further up. That's the last row. There should be space up front. Seat B. Yes, that's the one. Yes, keep going. Go right ahead, on the right. Hi, you're welcome. There may be room further up. Welcome aboard, enjoy. Yes, that's correct side. Just one more row.
Dashport 3280, runway 23 taxi via Golf, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 14, then Lima.
Welcome aboard.
Runway 23 taxi via Golf, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 14, then Lima Dashport 3280.
That'll be fine there. Yes, that's the one. On your left. Left side, just a bit further down. You're welcome. Welcome aboard, enjoy. Almost there now. No problem at all. Just past the galley. Welcome on board. That's the last row. Hello, right this way. Welcome aboard today. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. Yes, that's correct side. Window side, straight on ahead. Please continue forward. Hi, come. Hi. Welcome aboard, thank you. Almost. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. Window side. Hello. Good to see you. Seat A? Correct. Hello, welcome. Yes, that's correct side. One more row. Yes, right side. That'll be fine there. Welcome aboard, enjoy. Come on in, that'll be fine there. This way, please. Seat A? You're welcome. That row is a bit further, you're good to go. Window side, you're all set. Hello there, welcome. You're welcome. Welcome, please. That works perfectly. Go right ahead, on your right. Just one more row. Almost there now. Yes, you're in the right place. That fits under the seat.